Hello everyone, my name is Andrew. Today we'll continue learning Python, and today we'll talk about single responsibility principle. So let's start. Imagine that we have a class, for example, calculator. That class has two methods inside of it. The first one is sum, that accepts a and b as parameters and returns their sum. So calculator that simply gives us the results for math problems. The second division has a and b as well, and we return a divided by b. Nothing complicated here. We can also add some logic as if b equals to 0, we erase a value error instead of zero division error that is gonna be thrown in here. And yeah, that's our class. So divide and sum. Very simple methods, nothing very fancy. Then we have our main clause, and here we create our calculator. So calc equals calculator, and we say calc dot sum, for example, from 5 and 6. We get our result, and we print that result in our console, or we send it to the client. It doesn't really matter. So we have 11 as a result. Everything works and everything is great. But what is single responsibility principle, and how does it apply to every class that we are writing, or everything that we are writing, every method, every function, every class in our code? So now everything is great in terms of single responsibility principle. However, imagine that we have a task that we need to save all of the results to the database. So aside from calculating them, we need to save them. And what a lot of people may do is define save in here. They will accept the result, or I don't know, object, obj, to save, and then something like a database save, they will open up a file and save the results inside of that file, but I'll just print object was saved. So not to write some complicated logic, but you have that complicated logic in here. So you're gonna save that object to the database using SQL, using ORM. You're gonna save it to some other databases like NoSQL databases. So you're gonna save it somewhere on files or in files, anywhere. And now what we can do is simply call calculator.save from result. And now we have a problem. Our code will work fine. 11 as the result, and 11 was saved. But however, if we look at the code, our calculator has two responsibilities. Calculator executes some math operations, so sums up our a and b, divides a and b, maybe some other things, and aside from that, it also saves the results to the database. And now there is a problem. If our calculator saves the results to the database, and we need to change something inside of that class or inside of that save method in the future, we may break some other logic. So imagine that we save to the database, and our people come up to us, or our managers, someone comes up to us and says, we need to change the database to, or we need to change the ORM, or we need to change something in the way our data is stored. That may be quite often in lots of projects. And because of that, we can go to save. And we may say, oh, all right, I'm going to change it here, 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 here. And you change a lot of code. But there is a problem, because you're changing the code inside of the calculator. And basically, you're changing the code related to the database. And that code is interconnected with the program that only, or the class, I would say, that only works with the math problems. What is the connection between database and math problems? What's like the code connection between them? There is none. If we can count our answers in here, we can calculate them in here. Why do we need to use save inside of the same class? Because it may introduce some problems. We don't know the responsibility of our object. Then, all right, if we have save here, why not bring the third responsibility, which is called, I don't know, run API. Why not? Run API. Run API. No, we can just run the API. Why not? Because it's a separate responsibility. We don't need to put that inside of our calculator class, and we don't want to. That is why single responsibility principle, it's kind of like obvious, but it tells you that your thing, because once again, I'm talking about methods, classes, and other things, should only have one responsibility. I'm not talking about a single responsibility in terms of my calculator class should only calculate sum or should only calculate division. I'm talking about responsibility in the logical sense. So your calculator class can calculate math problems. That's it. Your another class can save things to the database. Another class can process user requests or something like that. Of course, you have different classes for your user requests in all of the applications, but I think you get the idea. You need some kind of a logical aim for your class. And what we do here, what are we going to do here? Instead of save, inside of my calculator class, I'm going to create a new class called calculator saver. It can be a repository pattern, it can be just a function called save, it can be anything, but I'm going to create a class. And define save is going to go here. Something is not alright with my ID. Define save is going to go here, and then instead of just calling calc.save, what I'm going to do is create saver, which is wait, let me do it like that, calculator saver, and then saver.save. Now we have two responsibilities and two classes. Calculator evaluates evaluates the problems that our user provide to us, so evaluates the problems with those numbers, and save saves the results in the database. If I run my code, the result will be the same. Yeah, something is not alright. Maybe that's maybe because I'm deleting tons of node modules folders from my recycle bin, but whatever. 11 and 11 was saved. Everything is alright here. So now the code works as we want it to work, and we have separate responsibilities for calculator saver and calculator. That's how it works. Nothing complicated here, but the only thing that you should remember is that each thing in your system, even if you're talking about functions, we can remove the class here and talk about functions. Each function, each method, each property, each class, everything should have a single responsibility that you use. Yeah, single responsibility, pretty simple, nothing to add. You only have one responsibility that you're using. That's it. That is single responsibility principle. And that single responsibility principle is one of solid principles. So if you want me to talk about solid, so how solid works, what is it, why do we need it, and yeah, save calc results. I just don't like just save method, so I'm gonna refactor it to save calc results. If you want me to talk about solid and all that things, then just write that down in the comments. But for now, that's single responsibility principle. My name is Andrew. Thank you for the watching and good luck.